Good evening, everyone. My name is Manisha Verma, and I am a member of Group 2. Today, I am going to start this presentation, and our topic of discussion is Cloudflare Byzantine failure. So, our presentation consists of various topics, which include introduction, the failure of Byzantine, the IT failure, the hardware and the software cost, and what was the impact on the customer. So, I am going to start with the introduction. So, basically, what is Cloudflare? So Cloudflare is an American content delivery network and DDoS mitigation company which was founded in 2010. As we know, day by day we are hearing a lot about the cyber crimes and the threats. So this platform is basically installed to make websites and their data more secure and fast. It is designed to run every service on every server in every data center across global network, which makes Cloudflare different from other platforms. It also gives developers a flexible platform to deploy serverless code instantly across the globe. This form also increases the site performance for the user and also lets them view faster loading times. Cloudflare contains multiple data centers which are placed all around the world, which enables them to establish as a VPN. Cloudflare secure resources such as websites, APIs, and applications. It also protects internal resources such as behind the firewall application, teams, and devices. So the next topic is the Byzantine failure, which will be covered by Parvinder. So over to you, Parvinder.
Thank you, Manisha. Good evening, everyone. My name is Parvinder Singh, and I am going to cover the Cloudflare Byzantine and IT service failure topics today. So, first of all, what is Byzantine failure? A Byzantine fault is a condition of a computer system where components may fail and there imperfect information on whether a component has failed. So, on the side of the cyber crimes and cyber attacks, system failures are also one of the major issues that organizations are facing, which highly impact their reputation and delivery within the market. So, let's cover Cloudflare Byzantine. On November 2nd, 2020, Cloudflare has an incident that impacts the availability of the API and dashboard for around 6.5 hours. During this incident, the success rate for queries to our APIs periodically dipped as low as 75%, and the dashboard experience was as much as 80 times slower than normal. Each of the Cloudflare control plane data centers has multiple racks of servers. Each of those racks has two switches. Those operates as pair. Both are normally active, but either can handle the load if the other fails. Cloudflare services rack level failure by spreading the most critical services across racks, which these Byzantine failure is generally impact the servers and the system connected with the overall distributed network. Simultaneously, the incident occurs every and connected with the Cloudflare platform started responding abruptly. The Byzantine failure played a crucial role in a cascading range of scenario for this firm. Initially, the network switch started to behave inappropriately, which assisted in determining the partial switch failure. Subsequently, all the racks of servers including which influence the data centers, control panels, which sustain huge data storage. This led to inappropriate behavior of the cluster members and initiated the service failure within the distributed system. So this is all about my topic. So the next topic is failure cost and the hard cost, which will be covered by Manan Borak. So over to you, Manan.
Thank you, Parvinder. Good evening. My name is Manan Barot, and today I'm going to cover the topics failure cost and the hard cost. Now, talking about the failure cost, other than the financial cost, the organization has to incur losses in the reputation created by the downtime. As my friend talked, the downtime was of around 6 hours and 33 minutes, and because of which the organization faced losses in number of consumers switching to other cloud services. Remodeling of partial switches and server racks of the data center had to be done on the cost of the firm. which made it very difficult for the consumer as well as the organization. Other than the database system and storage like services were also affected. This made the dashboard 80 times slower than the usual speed, and the latency of the API was reduced to 75% from 100. That made the ETDC redevelopment, the cluster redevelopment much more higher than the other services. Now, talking about the hard cost in information technology can be defined as physical cost needed to maintain overall system like network, services, switches, etc. Whatever makes the environment complete. The DBMS or the database management system, cluster system, and partial switches of the data center were harmed because of the single point of failure. The failures the failure due to this incident, system faced many redundancy in the database services, uh, because the database was only writable in one region at a time. But the good part was that it was a partial failure, so the hard cost incurred was much more less, as all the microsystems were not completely failed. So there was no significant cost for it. This was my part. Now I would like to hand over to my friend Bulahan. Thank you.
Sam, you are mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Manan. I was speaking on the soft cost and the impact on the customers or consumer end users. The soft costs are directly linked with the production and development of the platform, API, and the dashboard Cloudflare provides to its clients. Though it is an indirect cost, it is considered the necessary expense and thus can be fixed or flexible in nature. After the incident occurred, the availability of APIs and the dashboards were the major concerns of all the users. However, the partial switch started to respond accordingly after subsequent checks, which attracted an additional cost for safety inspection. The preparation of the RAF algorithm according to the incident failure also attracted fair amounts of additional expenses. Speaking on the impact on the consumer, after the incident occurred, the Cloudflare platform, their clients were not able to use the APIs and the database of the service providers. The database became slow. Security through the APIs were also tandem as the clients were unable to trust the servers connected between their gadgets or system or server. For those 6 hours, the corporate network capabilities were restricted and faced special vulnerabilities linked to data security and management. Users were unable to trust the centralized network to consume operations, hence the total distribution system began to respond arbitrarily. This is the end of my part. The next person speaking is Saving, which is going to handle the initial financial cost and ongoing.
Thank you, Bolahan. Hello, everyone. This is Shivang here. I'm going to talk about initial financial cost and ongoing and opportunity cost. When this Byzantine incident happened with Cloudflare, the initial financial cost has exceeded its limits. Also, the additional expenses which had to be done for remodeling the entire database and cluster management system. After doing this, users were able to secure their browsing and confidential information which they share over the internet. Apart from that, it was also necessary for the Cloudflare firm to organize a technical and security expert team for fixing the limitations. Hence, after this incident, financial cost has been increased as company required a database replica for better user experience. Now the next slide is all about ongoing and opportunity cost. First of all, what is ongoing cost? The ongoing cost for any commercial firm or business is nothing but the operational cost. The ongoing cost gradually increased during the period of system failure. For example, in this incident, Cost for maintaining the data centers and the securing the client's data was much more important. Another example for this case is in this failure is the regenerating of entire database, including the primary database and the server racks, which were completely damaged after this incident. And last but not the least, the opportunity cost was also highlighted, in which they had to implement the mitigating the risk in case of similar cases or similar failure in the future. Now the next slide will be explained by my friend Karan Singh. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karan Singh. My first topic is risk of Cloudflare. The other servers or network which connects or which runs along the Cloudflare also gets impact if the Cloudflare fails. System failure sustained with several risks that the firm might face even after the incident is over. For instance, the database management system and the cluster management system of Cloudflare was compromised. Though their teams were able to remodel the system, but the risk of data theft and mismanagement of the same was still there. The data stored virtually can get hacked by the attackers. This had already happened in the Cloudflare. Now, my second topic is media article. A single point of failure is when you identify a single component that multiple components rely on, meaning if that one piece failed, it would cause the entire system not to function. And generally, we try to avoid single points of failure in design. If we talk about a great example of cloud failure, we might know Azure Active Directory provides services for Microsoft and also to other third-party applications. There's a on-prem version and a cloud integrated version. By having this service, failed users were unable to log in to use applications like email, and some administrators were left unable to manage their domain. There is an existence of a growing dependency with the business and governments deploying data and services to the cloud and over the internet. This growing trend and speed of cloud adoption could create a climate where outages became wider in scope and include more critical services. At the end, hope we as a group were able to explain and cover all the points regarding Cloudflare. Thank you.